here we are, part 3 of the Celebrity Beyond, talking about the ship. We're actually re-recording this because I made a
editing error.
Editing error that I learned the hard way on. So we're going to do all things. The ship is probably will be a long one. So
we're going to try to speed it up from the lost video. The one thing cool about the brand new ship, like 141,000 tons, just started selling overseas in Europe in the spring. Just came to the States in November, so we were on one of the early sailings. So it still has that new ship smell, new ship look, and it's very clean. It's not dirty, no sea age or wear and tear from that, so that's good. But it was what they mentioned, and I didn't know what we got on the cruise, is it was the most expensive cruise ship ever built. Not the largest, doesn't have all the
I didn't realize that
water parks, bells and whistles, go-karts, roller coasters, none of that. But the reason is on top of the high-tech theater, which we've covered already. There's no doubt that cost a fortune to build a round circular theater like that with a television like that. That had to cost a lot. And then the artwork, and that's the thing too, is all the artwork on the ship had to really raise the price of the ship up. Because like I said, we're not art people. Don't know anything about it. Not against it, but just don't know. But we were impressed with the art. I mean, it was just everywhere you looked, it's there. And it was really cool not to see, something cheap, tacky, generic, cruisy, to see a nice piece of art, even if it was, two goats or whatever it is on the Odyssey.
I thought the elephant that they got on the main pool deck was...
It's a little odd, yeah.
Seemed out of place to me.
It's something you look at every time you go by, but it's like, doesn't bother me, doesn't help me, doing anything like that. So we would look at it, and then they had the champagne glass whirlpools, which aren't art, but it's kind of like that. So, but we've got a lot of pictures of art that we'll put in here. But then the coolest part of the art was the area called the Odyssey, and that was the little walk-through mirror type maze thing where it had, there's a lot of mirrors. They play like a little sound. They have a fragrance that kind of comes in there that our cabin steward actually got us, whatever the name was, which we lost it after the cruise, can't find it or whatever. It smelled good. Had these little, the crew called it the Gold Room, when we would talk about it. So I don't know, but it's called Odyssey. And it's really a cool thing. Remember, as our son loved running through it, and we actually got it. As soon as we got on the ship, it was on the deck. You enter on 5 and you go, when you're going to Eden, you kind of have to walk through it if you're on that deck. So it's a really cool thing. So that's part of that. We enjoyed that. The ship never felt crowded. Like I said, some of that is by design. We never waited for a table, never waited for...
And I think you said it was, what, 50, 60% full?
2,500, and max double capacity is 3,200, something like that. So certainly, 60% full, maybe something like that.
So when you get a big ship and not full, and one that's already don't have a lot of people.
Yeah, compared to the 160,000 ton Mardi Gras celebration that have 5,500 people. When you're putting 20,000 ton less than half the people, it's a big difference. We had a very large room, nicest interior room I ever had in my life. Just the ship's gorgeous. It's really something like a 5-star resort. I mean, you're not going to be unimpressed with the quality and the build of the ship. And you might not like the amenities and stuff like that. But it was just very roomy. We had a couch and even had a little trundle bed that pulled out from underneath the couch that you could sleep on, which, with a toddler was more of a toy than a bed that we never really used. So, a good way to, climb and get hurt and that kind of stuff. So, but what they specialize in is service and celebrity. And, while we were a little unimpressed with the food, but service, we were definitely impressed. The bartender, we got the coffee package, went to the coffee bar a lot. They, after like on the second order, they knew my name and would call me by name, and I got 4 or 5 different things a day there, and service was great. Cabin steward was awesome. I mean, when we boarded the ship at 11:10, I think roughly, we went straight to our room, and we were just going to drop off a suitcase. And he goes, "No, you can go in your room." And never got to board a room in that early. Never seen that.
A random question: whenever you did your coffee thing, did you have to sign something, or did they just scan it?
It's you tap your card on the little RFID thing, so you don't have to sign it.
So it was a quick process?
It was pretty quick, pretty painless, yeah. That was not a big deal, and you had to do it every time. But you could get 3 or 4 things at one time, too. So if you wanted you'd have to ring it up 6 transactions, or whatever. But, if I wanted 2 coffees and a water or a Coke to carry with me, they'd just get all at once and no questions asked. Never made comments. We can't do that. Just, nice guys. We fell in love with the Ceylon iced tea, and then, that kind of thing. So we did find different things we liked, we tried that we never had before. But the service, like I said, is what they're known for. And like I said, there's little things they do every night you get your mints on your pillow and your chocolate, which you've ate all day. I know it's not a big deal, but it's just kind of the
That is
principle of it
something
all.
you miss. You always find at the.
Our son
the
would
pillow.
kind of see them and eat them most of the nights for us. So, didn't eat many of them actually. He, don't need that much, but he did it anyway. The daily paper planners are delivered to your room automatically. You don't have to ask and beg for them.
Yeah, I've been a strong proponent of.
And I'm not anti-phone digital. I actually like them both. I mean, that's just my preference. I like to have them available.
I'm anti-app.
They clean your room twice a day, which is great. I mean, we have a lot of trash. We have a lot of towels at home in here too, so it was nice to get that.
That's a nice part.
And
I guess since they had less rooms to clean, it was probably easier.
That's the difference.
Less work for them.
Yeah, instead of the guy having to clean 20 rooms, he probably
they're
had
probably
5 or
cleaning the
6,
same
7.
amount as the bigger ships. So that's one thing about the luxury line you get.
Yeah. In the main dining room, they did bring bread every night. Don't have to ask for it. And they brought the 3 little dipping sauces that we loved, son loved, all that. They give real menus that you having to ask for them. I like that. I like to look ahead and plan ahead, but I do like to look at the menu when I get to the restaurant.
I think deep down everybody likes the paper menus.
Yeah.
People are just afraid.
It is nice to be able to access them at any time of the day to get a heads up versus having to walk in the ship. The head waiter for our table, she cut our lobster out. That's another little thing that a lot of places are cut out.
That's a throwback thing,
It is, but those are things you appreciate. I mean, you like that kind of stuff. Is it the difference in you booking a cruise? Probably not. But those are nice little things. The kids camp. Back onto the kids thing.
In case you didn't say on this video, there was how many kids on board?
13 kids under the age of 18, and there was 4 or 5, about 5 in my son's toddler group.
So for comparison, on the Carnival celebration the week of Thanksgiving, there was 1,500 kids on board, and there was 13 on this one.
There was 200 the week of Thanksgiving on this ship, they told us.
Okay.
And they were expecting 300 and 400 Christmas and New Year's week. So they were expecting more, but the kids, it's huge, it's nice. I mean, there was many kids, so the ones there basically had a personalized one-on-one practical service with the crew down there in that area. It's a nice area, tons of toys, tons of crafts. And our son loved it. We used it every day. We'd go down to the toddler time. We did not leave our son with the babysitters, but that's just our personal preference, nothing against him. We just don't leave him with other folks.
So did y'all do that in like the daytime or nighttime?
Always daytime.
So that was kind of what you did to make up for no water slides.
Exactly. We'd just go down there. You have a morning and an afternoon, and I've got the schedule. We'll put it up there. It was like 9:45 to noon, and then from 2 to 5 or something every day. So you go down there, you stay the whole time. I mean, so we played a lot of toys, games, crafts, art, that kind of stuff. He enjoyed it. But now, that's the good part. After that, there's nothing for children to do. This ship is nice, it's beautiful, it caters to the retirement age crowd, but it is not for children. And we knew this story with a cruise. We had it at a celebrity cruise to try. Found out my wife was pregnant 4 years ago, canceled it because of that. Rebooked it during the middle of the COVID pandemic, unknowing at the time that was going to hit. Canceled that. 4 years later, we had to use our cruise or lose the credit we had. So, and we wanted to use it, brought the toddler on. He made the best of it. Yeah. But, there's no arcade for your children. There's no splash pad. They don't have a separate pool. And there's just little things that,
and they really can't get in the main pool, I assume.
They can't. You can, but, I mean, just when
the
you
pool, that's not for
it's
kids.
Not for kids. I mean, our son can't swim, so I mean, that kind of stuff, and it's always really crowded. But it was a little cool too. So, but I mean, we didn't really do the pool thing except at night, and we about froze to death up there, so it was a little cold. But yeah, another just a good example of kind of how they're out of touch with the children's market is the kids menu is the same every night. We can put that up as well. But they don't have chicken nuggets on the children's dinner menu, which just most of the kids I know, they survived their childhood years eating chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. I mean, and the same for us. So the guy at the dinner that night, the waiter said he'd be happy to go up to the main pool deck on the Lido to see if they had anything, find us. But we said, no, that's fine. We'll do without. We'll do something. Not a chicken tender, not chicken nugget. And I thought that was just a good thing of they're out of touch. That or they don't want them on board and just don't want to say it. Because they don't discount the kids a lot as much as some of the others. So, and another thing too is that pool deck is very long. I mean, it's like swimmer track type length of pool. It's huge. It's crazy long, like rectangle shape. So it's got a little splash area on the side. But I mean, it's
so it's not like the Virgin Origins pool, which is like 2 feet wide.
No, it's plenty long enough. And we didn't go up there a lot in the daytime just because we do the toy thing. So another thing too is the eating area is gorgeous. You're going to love the eating area. Even if you just sit, read, relax, you can go to the Eden Cafe and eat their very poor food there, in our opinion. But it's just
now is the Eden Cafe where they have the magic carpet thing.
The magic carpet is on there and it floats around, but no, you cannot access magic carpet from there. It hangs out like deck 2 down there, which is where you enter the night. That's the nicest on the deck 2 thing there.
I believe you told me that the magic carpet you thought was a little bit of a gimmick.
It was more of a sales pitch and a gimmick. It doesn't move a lot, and when it does move, it kind of hangs out up top a lot on the pool deck area. Then I think it will go down to the deck 2 down there where the teenager area is at, and where you board the ship on your ports and stuff like that, which is the nicest port area ever. Like the boarding area, I've never seen anything so nice. It's like a shopping mall down there. Just a big open area, but really nice. Glass, and it doubles the art. People use it for the art stuff down there too, so it doubles for that too. The magic carpet kind of moves around a little bit. It goes up and down, and I actually believe the one that was the floating bar on the Royal Caribbean ships moves more. That's just my opinion on it. But I got on it when it was stationary. But then they closed it down a lot at night too, while the ship was moving too, I thought. So I mean, we'd go up there and then kind of odd. So, but I mean, it was open during the daytime and stuff. But I did think it was kind of a gimmick. I mean, it just kind of like walking out in another area of the ship. You just like, oh yeah, we're suspended above the sea, kind of thing. So, they don't push pictures. We had to track someone down to get a picture made on the board of the ship photo, which is a really strange thing.
Yeah, that's definitely opposite from Carnival.
Yeah, the Carnival photographers were the best I've ever seen, as far as 2 or 3 of them would gang up and get behind the guy taking the photo, jump up, down, yell, scream, hoot, holler, whatever it took to get our toddler to look at the camera. They tried a little bit, but they weren't catering as much to them. Then at the end of the trip, they said, "Oh, by the way, we were going to buy one picture for $25. We had 2 we really liked, so we were going to buy 2 for $50." They said, "Well, if you want to buy every package, the package with your Captain Club discount, 30% off is $87 to get every picture we took." Like, well, if I'd have known that, I'd have loaded up taking pictures. So there's a tip.
You think that's something that they didn't advertise on purpose?
I think definitely. And if people knew about it, it was probably the frequent travelers that probably didn't buy a lot of photos.
And I know you did research. That's something that didn't come up.
Never come up, no. And I don't know if that's a new promotion. I'm our first celebrity cruise, so I don't know if that's standard for that. But the ship itself, you're not going to be disappointed in it. Like I said, you can. It's a very open ship, very. Lots of staircases, a lot of open areas, and especially in the center of the ship. And the Eden Cafe is just something to go see. Eden is nice too. So.
And I assume you're going to say teenagers are not made for this ship, right?
No, I assume a teenager would be bored out of their minds. I mean, because toddlers are kind of, you give them toys and an iPad, they can entertain themselves about anywhere. But a teenager is going to have opinions and be bored easy.
And even
they're not going to want to hang out with the retirement crowd at the pool. Now, the solarium is up there, which, when you have a child, the adults only solarium, you can walk through those because, they don't have a problem with you walking through there, but you just can't stay there. That seemed really nice, but no teenager's going to want to hang out there either.
Yeah, most teenagers don't want to hang out.
But it looked nice. It was always really nice. I kind of was envious, wished I could have stayed in there, but, we're literally banned from there. So, I mean, there's reasons for that. So, but it just doesn't have a lot of the bells and the whistles and the gimmicks, I guess you could say. But a lot of times that's what you entertain yourself with on cruises now.
Yeah, I know some people don't like the bells and the gimmicks, but we kind of do personally.
Yeah, there's only so many hairy chess contests you can see if they do those things anymore.
Can't say them anymore, Crawford. Took them out.
Took them out. So, but hey, it's a really nice ship, and not really a lot of complaints on the ship. And love the fact it wasn't crowded. I mean, that was a nice part.
What would you say was the best thing about the ship and the worst thing about the ship?
Definitely the best thing is the service. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with that service. So the worst thing would probably be it's just not for families. I mean, it's just simply not for families.
And I mean, I think, look, like he said, you can't really blame celebrity for that because they're not like they're trying to hide that.
No, and they don't.
This was just one of those fluke things that you kind of just had to book it and make the best.
Exactly. I mean, we had to use it. Didn't want to lose our credit, but they don't even discount the third person in the room as much as a lot of times they'll practically throw the third person on there for free, that kind of thing. But they do not do that on there. And you pay. We got a good deal on our cruise even because we went the first week of December. It's probably the cheapest week of the year to cruise, probably.
Yeah.
So the reason we got a good price and the low crowd is because of that. So if you want to avoid kids, go the first week of December. But yeah, the ship's it's a nice ship. No complaints on the ship. So.
How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
For us, it's probably a 6 just because of the whole no families, no kids thing. I mean, because you can't complain about having a brand new, nice, gorgeous ship. That kind of thing. So
all right.
That's all.
Closing comments?
If you have children or teenagers, don't book Celebrity. I mean, go Carnival, Royal Caribbean, or Norwegian. You're going to be a lot happier.
Yeah.
And we knew that going in. So
Yeah.
it's not their fault. So that's all I got.